Hi everyone, my name is Clement. I will be presenting peer-to-peer in this video. So peer-to-peer, it is a decentralized communication model. Each workstation or devices in peer-to-peer patterns is represented as a peer. Each peer has the same privilege, capabilities, and responsibilities. Each peer can be functioned as both client and server. The connection in peer-to-peer pattern is bidirectional interaction that shows two-way communication that may exist between two or more peer-to-peer components. So this is the example in this image. So the advantages and disadvantages of peer-to-peer. The advantages will be resource sharing by all users over the network, reliable, administrator is not needed, cheap building and maintaining costs. So resource sharing, resource on every peer is accessible by other peer. The resource is shared by every peer. Reliable, no failure is occur in the network even if one peer is down. Why? Because every peer is connected by each other, so there is no centralized unit. One down, they still can connect to another peer. No administrator needed. Administrator is not required. Every user in administrator that manage their own workstation or device. Every user has the right to control their shared resource over the network. Cheap building and maintaining cost. Building a personal workstation is cheaper compared to building a server that exists in client server. Maintaining a personal workstation by each user is cheaper compared to maintaining a server that exists in client server. So the disadvantages of peer-to-peer. Difficult to manage the system. Resources that established are not always available. Low performance. And also illegal resource sharing occur. So difficult to manage the system. The system is difficult to manage due to no administrator to manage and monitor every shared resource and every machines. Resources that distribute are not always available. The user might have deleted the resource, therefore other users on the peer are not able to access. Low performance. The workstation of the user performance will be slowed down when every user is accessing the shared resource, the same shared resource in the same time. Illegal resource sharing occur. Pirated music, videos, and other copyright files are shared all over the network. The example of the pirated torrent host webpage will be Pirate Bay, and KitKat-Torrent. So let me show you the example of the peer-to-peer. Skype. It is founded in year 2000 by the organization that created Kazaa. It is an overlay peer-to-peer network that uses decentralized network. Supernodes maintain an overlay network among themselves. Ordinary nodes select the nearest supernodes to establish connection. Basically, what Skype does is allow users to make voice call, video calls, and send message over the internet to other known users. So the Skype architecture is somehow like this. I will explain in this part. In Skype, there are two types of peer component, and every peer is required to log in into Skype login server to authenticate themselves in order to sign in to use the Skype application. So first of all, this is the Skype login server that every peer have to log into. Then this small one will be the ordinary port. An ordinary port is a Skype application that can send and receive messages as well as make video and voice call. It interacts with the neighbor super peer. This will be the super peer. So this is the super peer. So super peer is a peer that has sufficient CPU power, memory, and network bandwidth. Any ordinary peer can have the chance to become a super peer. So the Skype protocol and standards. In here, I only talk about how Skype use peer-to-peer to search user. Skype uses global index GI technology to search for a user. How it does, which is like with the nature of peer-to-peer network in Skype, it enables Skype to search for user easily. Since every peer in Skype is connected to each other, even the supernodes, Skype will start searching for existing users that logged in during the last 72 hours. it claims that it is able to locate the user who logged in using a public or private IP address during the last 72 hours. These are based on a paper about analysis of Skype from Mr. Salman, Henning and Ravin. Example 2 for peer-to-peer will be BitTorrent. BitTorrent, it is created by Brent Cohen in year 2003. It uses peer-to-peer pattern that allow the user to download files without storing the files in the centralized server. A tracker is introduced in BitTorrent that will store the peer list about which peer consists of the file and introduce the peers to new download initiator. So the process of the data file will be, first of all, when the file first uploaded by the user, then downloaded by the first downloader from a torrent host is a single seed. Therefore, the download speed of the data file is relatively slow. However, once the download process complete by the first downloader and continuously by other user, known as peer, while the original seed turns into feed. When the files get downloaded by more users and more seeds are produced, the download speed of the data file will be faster. So let me explain how it works and a brief introduction of the architecture of the BitTorrent. First of all, the peer 1, which is the one who initiates the download, will download a torrent file that has an extension .torrent from a torrent host web page. Then peer 1 connect to tracker to get the peer list that had the same file. Then when the connection is established from peer 1 to other peer sends different fragment to peer 1, like fragment 1, fragment 2 and fragment 3 to peer 1. The fragment contains of the multiple of split data file. It's like the small chunk of the file. And then after peer 1 had done downloading the file, fragment 4 is stored in peer 1 PC torrent downloader. When there is a new download initiate, which is the peer 5, peer 1 will need to send its fragment to the newcomer. So peer 1 send the fragment 4, peer 2 send fragment 1, peer 3 send fragment 2, and peer 4 send fragment 3 to peer 5 to let it download, and this will continue go on and go on. So verdict is, in my opinion, peer-to-peer pattern is suitable to apply on example like BitTorrent because it helps the web page host save costs on maintaining their server. It also helps Skype to save costs on purchasing more server to maintain the voice and video call quality. Thank you for your attention.